Hello. Welcome to It's Just Perfume, a Lucky Scent podcast where we talk all things perfume. I'm your host, Stephen Guntarski. Today, I had the pleasure of chatting with Susannah Melvoin. Susannah is an incredible songwriter and musician. You know her music. She's written songs that were recorded by Madonna, by Prince, and she has her own band, The Family, making incredible music to this day. And it turns out Susannah's also a perfume lover and is part of the Lucky Scent Bar family now. So I am spoiled with the time I get to hang out with her, listening to her stories, hearing how music and scent have had such a huge role in her life and how these things go together and work together. I always love chatting with Susannah, so I really hope you enjoy the conversation as much as I did. Susannah Melvoin. Any day where I get to hang out with you and chat is a good day. So thank you for hanging out with me today.
You know, at the drop of a hat, I'd be here for you. You're my BFF.
You're not going to guess the song that I had in my head driving over here this morning. It goes a little something like this. Candy perfume girl.
Oh.
Does that ring a bell?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, it does.
So who knew that when I heard that song on Madonna's album, Ray of Light, and it spoke to me because it's about perfume, of course, and I think it spoke to a lot of people. One of the first generation perfume blogs out there was called Candy Perfume Boy, and it's Thomas Dunkley, who's still making amazing content. I think it's called Making Sense Makes Sense. But anyway, I happen to know that he called himself Candy Perfume Boy, inspired by that song.
Right.
So for those of you who don't know, this happens to be something that you wrote, and you presented to William Orbit, who you were working with, and then it got into the hands of Madonna, who interpreted the song really beautifully, in my opinion. But obviously, perfume has been something. Perfume and music have been something probably to your inner core for as long as you can remember, I'm going to imagine. Tell me about that song. I don't think we've ever really spoken about that.
So at the time, I was in England writing with William Orbit for, my own record.
Yeah.
We had written about 4 or 5 different songs, and that was one of them. But of course, the content of that lyric was something close to me because it was something that sort of led the way all the time for me was perfume and music.
Yeah.
So, and I was playing on the floor with, it was in the studio, I don't know what they're called, but they were the magnets with poetry on them.
Oh, yeah. That you
Right?
stick on your fridge.
So I was trying to find, some inspiration at the time, and I had been sort of sitting on the floor, and I just threw them out, and I was pulling things, and I would, I had the idea of perfume, but then I started putting all of this stuff together, and I came up with this great idea, right? The lyrics started to come. Anyway, it started with that, recorded it with my vocal, and about 3 weeks later, maybe it was a little bwant longer than that, I'd gotten a phone call from my manager who said, William Orbit is in the studio with Madonna, and they want to record Candy Perfume Girl, and there was a couple other songs that were on that record that I had co-written with William, and I was like, there's a lot to that. There's a lot of story and backstory to that, so I won't get into all the details, but she ended up doing it on her record. I was invited to the studio, and they were recording it here in L.A. in North Hollywood. What was the name of the studio? Anyway, in North, they had one North and West Hollywood. And I walked in, and Madonna came out of the studio, and she said, I love the song. And funny enough, walking down the hallway, I was wearing a perfume that was very strong. She walked down the hallway, and she was like, P.U., who is wearing patchouli? Of course, it was me. And I was like, oh, that'll be me.
What was the perfume?
It was patchouli oil.
Oh, just straight up.
No, it wasn't. You know what it was? It was L'Artisan's patchouli.
Oh, patchouli patch.
Patchouli patch.
Yeah, from
That's what
L'Artisan Perfume.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was wearing patchouli patch.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a fantastic
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Who wouldn't love that?
Right.
Except for Madonna.
Except for
She
Madonna.
hated it. Anyway, so she made a kind of a stink about that and didn't like it at all. And I just, whatever, it's fine. And she sat there and she goes, I really love the song. I've changed one word. And I said, what's that? And she said, the Candy Perfume Boy. She put that in there.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's how it ended up on the record. So there's more to that story, but it was originally supposed to be for my record.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And you know what is funny? Before I got to know you, and before we started talking about Prince and your history with Prince, I remember hearing, someone told me this story about how he didn't like patchouli. And obviously everything that I thought I knew was inaccurate. I found out later, getting to know you, and that he didn't like when anyone wore patchouli in the band or whatever, and because he was so opposed to it. This is what I heard. But apparently this was probably true of Madonna, so maybe my information got kind of mixed up. And who knows, maybe Madonna loves patchouli and other fragrances, but who knows?
That seems to be the theme all around, even in the store, and with people come in who say, I hate patchouli. And then we're like, I'm not quite sure you really hate patchouli because it's in everything. And it does give the most beautiful earthy body and base to any structure.
Yes.
So I'm not so sure. So yeah, I mean, maybe, patchouli oil, although I'm a huge fan of patchouli oil. I don't douse myself in it, but there's nothing wrong with a little little dab will do ya.
Definitely.
And happy to do it. So, but I think I never heard him say anything about patchouli.
I'm sure.
Not a word.
I'm sure it's not based in anything factual. Just in the same way, I think I remember reading an article in the 90s about how Prince used to love Eau de Trient from Annie Coutal. And then I asked you this, and you said, not that I know. So here's the thing. During the 90s, he could very well have been turned on to Adrien. That could have well been the case. Right.
Whenever I saw him, I was not smelling Adrien on him. There was no citrus notes. There was not, that's not the kind of thing that he would gravitate towards, much more floral and fruity fragrances. So... But maybe.
You know what? When I was listening to Candy Perfume Girl this morning, and I haven't listened to it in such a long time, so I listened to it with new ears. And I think my memory of it is because of its name. And I thought of it as being sort of like frivolous and kind of fantasy. And that's how I remember it. But listening to it, it's a different experience than how I remember.
So it's interesting. She came to me and said, is this song about drugs? And I said, no, actually, it's not. And interesting, right at that time, my brother had passed away from a drug overdose. Yeah. And so I'd written that song afterwards, and I was like, it never crossed my mind that this would evoke any sort of like, sort of addictive quality to the content of the words. Yeah. But I kind of understood what she was talking about, because it does have this sort of quality of need, and I have to have this, and I'll do anything to get it. Yeah. So I understood what she was getting at. That's not how I'd written it at all, but I understood. So I'm curious if you
what's interesting is, hearing it, I'm realizing, wait, I think this is in a minor key, and I never even thought about that. And then there are these beautiful modalities that are kind of Middle Eastern that are coming in towards the end.
Well, he is extraordinary. So I don't know if you ever heard any of the Strange Cargo records that William Orbit did.
No.
Strange Cargo 2 and 3, some of the greatest ambient dance music. Ever. Yeah. William sort of like set the standard. There was the orb, and then the William Orbit, little pink fluffy clouds, and then William.
Of course.
So they shared sounds, and William was very, very protective of his studio and the sounds that he came up with. But those records are extraordinarily beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And that was one of the things that I loved about it, and I wanted to work with him. And I was like, he's melodic, and he had all these beautiful, beautiful sounds that were evocative of so much and so many feelings. And Perfume was exactly what I wanted to write about on this
Yes.
particular track. He
Yeah.
said, "Do you hear something?" I was like, "Oh, I not only do I hear it, but I feel it and I smell it. I have this whole relationship
Yeah.
with the just the music of the track."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
that song especially is
Yeah.
very perfumey. Not
yeah, yeah.
not just because of the lyrics, but because of the textures of the sounds.
Yeah.
And there's certain music that I feel is more perfumey than others. Like I'm the biggest Cocteau Twins fan because their music is perfume.
100%.
know?
It's funny. I have a fragrance here that is, yes. Is,
Let's get into this because what I asked you to do is come up with your Hall of Fame fragrances. Now, we say this with every episode that's Hall of Fame. These are not necessarily the 5 greatest perfumes of all time, according to you, because you know, things change and you can appreciate that perfume is a masterpiece, but it's not something you've been wearing for the past few years, only because it's just not your style right now. It's not your mood. So we're talking about right now, your Hall of Fame, the ones that you gravitate towards the most. And so let's get into it.
Right, I have a lot of them here, but there
Yeah.
are some vanillas. We were just speaking about Cocteau Twins off the Heaven in Las Vegas record.
Yeah.
Is it Ice
Blink Luck.
Ice Blink Luck.
One of my favorite songs.
Okay. Is Tihota. Is Tihota to me.
Very interesting.
It's Tihota. It does it's just it's almost like a perfect note that adds to the rhythm and the ethereal quality of it, but it's also light. It's not heavy.
Yeah.
It sits in the sweetest, most delicate way on the skin.
Yeah.
But it also has depth.
Yes.
You know, there's that burnt sugar quality to it, but it's not infantile. There's
Yeah.
not. It's incredibly emotional. So that is Cocteau Twins to me. That
Yes.
particular one. So when I wear it, the way I feel when I'm listening to that record is what happens when I wear that. So I get Tihota, that beautiful vanilla and burnt sugar, when I'm listening to that.
Even more reason to love this perfume.
Oh, it's just the most extraordinary vanilla ever, can be layered with everything and anything.
I think a lot of us in the Scent Bar Lucky Scent family
Yeah.
would probably consider this to be one of the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah, that's the
Even
crown. She
beyond-
wears the crown.
Yeah, for sure.
Wears the crown. Yeah, thank you, Francis Kirshen.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think if anyone asked anyone at Lucky Scent or Scent Bar, what is the best vanilla here?
I think we all come
We
up
all agree,
with this
it's
one.
Tihota.
Yes, you do. I mean, I have a second running in the moment because it takes it into a little bit more of a dangerous vanilla with a little bit more meditative quality to it. So it demands that you be a bit more introspective.
Okay.
And it's the new Cody, Encore une fois.
Encore une fois, so let's discuss.
Yes. So that particular one has an amber, incense, and a burnt sugar. And it just, so it's incredibly sexy. Where Tihota isn't as sexy, this one is sexy. And I use that word in the most powerful way. This is like, you just feel like you're in your body when you're wearing this. And I'm like, I couldn't wait to get this in the store. I couldn't wait to smell it again.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Right off the bat, smelling it this way, and it's really different smelling it here than in the store. In the store, there's so much perfume in the air that sometimes you don't have the most accurate read on a perfume. But musk.
Oh, totally.
There's this beautiful
There's
pillowy
a beautiful
musk.
billowy musk in it as well.
That's stunning. That's so pretty.
It's so beautiful on. It's so beautiful on. Now, that said, it's not Cocteau Twins.
Right.
It's not Cocteau Twins. Tihota is Cocteau Twins.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a very pretty smell.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm getting some florals. I want to say heliotrope in here. There's something.
It's not listed, but sure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like I totally get that. It's like there is a quality to the heliotrope that's in Majaina Sin that I get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Which I adore.
Yeah.
But this is so much more this is sneaky sexy. This is like this isn't, no one has to be hit over the head with this.
No,
this is just
It's so beautiful. Heliotrope is funny because it's kind of in the same scent family as almond and cherry.
Yeah.
Even though it is a flower, but it does have those kind of almond smells to it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when I smell heliotrope in a perfume, it has this pretty powdery texture. But in some instances, it gives me something a little bit watery. And I get almost the slightest bit of water in this scent.
Okay, so that makes sense because that's a theme for me.
Water.
Is water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not oceanic, but water.
Water.
Like the smell of water. From river water to lake water to a bowl of water that you've just, poured water into a bowl.
For
there
sure.
you go.
Yeah.
You get close enough to and you just,
Yeah.
there's a wet,
Yeah.
excuse me, that super wet, beautiful quality.
Isn't that so interesting? Sometimes I feel that even when I drink water, it has a different flavor. Like sometimes I'll have a glass of water and it seems creamy to me. Do you ever get that?
Yes, I do. But it has different smells to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So obviously you can get some that has too many chemicals in it.
Yeah, chloride. Yeah.
But what when you're getting an extraordinary bottle of water and you take that first sip and you smell it just before it gets to your nose, and then you take with no ice,
100%.
just you smell it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's that wetness. That's so beautiful.
Susannah, no wonder I love talking with you. We always get into stuff like this.
Yeah.
That's why.
So
scent is on.
So scent is so connected to so many sensory experiences.
Yeah.
And for some of us, we walk about the planet that way.
Yeah.
And Luca Turin used the word, I see shapes
Yeah.
in fragrance, and I do as well. I see shapes with fragrances. I also connect feelings to fragrances.
Yeah.
The second I smell something, it can bring up something, and then I will become introspective and I will think about something, and I'll have an emotional moment.
Yeah.
Almost always positive, or at least contemplative.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes that's a little bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to guess you've always been into scent, even as a little girl.
I brought my first perfume I ever bought. I think I was given a couple of bucks to go to the Save-On down the street for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I bought Heaven Scent, and I have there's my bottle right there.
This is the actual
That's
bottle?
the actual bottle.
That is I can't believe you.
Because I bought other bottles after that, but I kept this one in the box.
Oh my God, this box is incredible. This little Cupid with this crescent moon.
I know. I mean, I'm dating myself because this is such an old, I think it's sometime in the 70s. I was just a little girl, but I'd spent time, I was always playing in my mother's perfumes or my mother's friends' bathrooms. I'd close the door and I was in sneaking around doing
I was smelling my mom's makeup.
I was wearing her makeup, and she had those 3 mirrored lighted clairol thing, and I was playing with all the lights and doing my makeup and just but here I sort of went nuts with this. It's a vanilla. It's probably a little turned, but
it's an old bottle. Yeah.
I mean,
that's incredible.
Oh yeah. A fragrance full of rain-washed breezes, poems waiting to be written, born of music, tender as love, fresh as laughter, free as flight, a scent so full of gentleness and dreams, it says what you have no words for.
Oh my God, that is beautiful.
For a 7-year-old, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Who made this?
Mem?
Oh.
Yeah, Mem. Discontinued. They had a musk and then a vanilla.
Now, I could be wrong. I feel when I was a kid, there was an aftershave.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Probably true.
Yeah. So speaking of your mom's makeups and perfumes, what are the perfumes that you most closely associate with your mom?
Few of them.
Yeah.
Because it started with my grandmother. It was really interesting because my grandmother wore Norel. Okay.
Yeah.
But my mother wore Chanel No. 5, Joy. That was a big one. She coveted her bottle of Joy.
Yeah.
But more than anything, in her glorious hippiness, she wore rose oil and violet oil. And she would put rose oil on the tip of her tongue. She would dab it. And And they're like that. So whenever you'd hug her and she'd be like, "Hi, darling," and you would smell rose oil.
Oh my gosh.
So I absolutely associate my mother with rose oil.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she switched up her perfumes.
She did, and later on, she relied on my nose.
Yeah.
Because I was, traveling the world, and I would, at any opportunity, if there was any fragrance anywhere, I was smelling it, and I was trying to okay, what am I going to get? How do I get this? What's in this? And I didn't know what I was loving so much, but there was this experience of finding new shapes and fragrances and things that would
Do you remember some of the ones that you discovered and gave to your mom?
Yes, Fracas.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Fracas was one of them that she just fell madly in love with.
Right.
Opium, original opium. So those two were big for my mom, but it was my father's wife who, when she came to live in the United States, she brought back Jiki and Mitsuko for my twin and myself in these beautiful gold bottled, gold leafed that you put the inserts inside.
Yeah.
And my life changed. I could not believe something could be so beautiful. And she wore Bal Versailles.
Oh, nice.
So I was just inundated with these beautiful fragrances. And then I thought, okay, there's got to be more. And at the time on TV, you'd see, Charlie commercials or Jean Tout commercials. I got them all. Jean Tout, Charlie. I had all of them. I got L'Air Bleu. I had, why am I forgetting with the birds on it?
L'air du temps?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gorgeous. Mm-hmm. What a
So
collection.
This is really, really young. This is
Were you even a
preteen.
teenager? Oh my God.
Preteen.
And you had Mitsuko?
At 12. I want to say 12. I was a 12-year-old. Yeah, 12, 13, got Mitsuko
That's
and
way too young to
Jiki.
be wearing Mitsuko.
I was mad for it. Utterly mad for it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and then all the girls at school, I had my best friend at the time, she was, what are you wearing, what are you wearing, what are you wearing? But I wouldn't, there was no getting Jiki or Mitsuko at the time, so we would go for the Charlie and the Jean Tout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
She was into Rive Gauche, though, so she had the Rive Gauche sprays, white linen. Her mom wore L'Oregon. So, she'd have bottles of L'Oregon in the car, and I would literally
Wait, who, your friend in school?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was just surrounded by fragrances, and I was mad for them.
Yeah.
It was just mad for them.
Yeah.
If I felt bad, I would smell perfume and feel better.
Well, these perfumes were masterpieces.
Yes, masterpieces.
Yeah.
And I kind of got off on that,
That's incredible.
finding them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's safe to say that from then on, from such an early age, whatever phase of your life you're going through, there are scents to go with it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
What are some of the older bottles that are on this table?
Well, the older bottles are going to be a Molinard de Molinard.
Okay.
Chanel number 19, that was a staple of mine. Both of these were staples of mine. The Molinard de Molinard, when I graduated high school, I worked for David Geffen, and one of the A&R people at Geffen Records was Carol Childs, and I just was madly in love with her. She was a redheaded beauty, diva of a woman, and she wore Molinard. And I just would follow her around the hallways. I was answering the phone, 17 years old, David Geffen Company. But I would, Carol would walk in, and I would just be in love with what she was wearing. And I became friends with her, and I would go to her house, and I saw this bottle, and I was like, Molinard. And I picked it up and smelled, oh, that's what she's wearing.
Oh,
that's what
so
she's wearing.
interesting.
And I went crazy for it.
Yeah.
And then I wore it so much that when I, started really my journey with Prince and working with Prince and having a relationship with him, I was wearing that. I was wearing a lot very often.
Then he started wearing it as well.
Then he started wearing Molinard.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, it's an old bottle because I
yeah.
found it on eBay,
Yeah.
but within 20 minutes you get that beautiful.
yeah.
The newer version is not that. There's too
Yeah.
much green. there's way too much vetiver in it. This one has the great fruity notes and narcissus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say, they don't make perfumes like this anymore.
No.
Yet, you can see it happening in some things, like one thing that you brought here.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's absolutely the case.
Yeah.
So Salome is an extraordinary floral sheep, but it's incredibly animalic.
Yeah.
It's super, super skin-like, almost funky in the most sexy way. I feel as though this particular fragrance, I associate Hissing of Summer Lawns, Joni Mitchell.
Yes.
And Shades of Scarlet Conquering, that one song on that record, that's this.
Okay.
Out of the fire like Catholic saints comes Scarlet in her deep complaint. It is that lyric, and there's all this incense
Yes.
and animalic
Yes.
quality. It's a vintage, very beautiful, beautiful female fragrance to me.
I adore this scent.
Yeah. So, and I gravitate towards these particular fragrances. Like,
Yeah.
I go for these really heady, animalic sheeps. But
I love
not
them
always.
too.
But I it runs
We
the
both
gamut.
share
But
that big time.
Yeah.
So Salome from Papillon, gorgeous. I love wearing this one too.
Oh, Liz Moore has something. She's connected to something so deep for me.
Yeah.
This has a water quality to it to me. Although it's incredibly, it's got so many bass notes in
Yeah.
it, but it feels like river water.
Yeah.
Like you smell the earth and that patchouli and the moss, but then you get that really big waft of like river water that comes your way on those granite rocks. And you get that sort of like, you inhale at that same time, but you're also sweaty and kind of stinky in the best way.
Yeah.
It's Salome.
This is incredible. I have my associations with this smell too, because I grew up outside of Philadelphia, and then on the weekends, on a Saturday, we would go into the city.
Mm-hmm.
There was a store called Garland of Letters, which still exists. It's on South Street in Philly. And that's where I'd buy my essential oils and crystals and incense. And I just imagine if I knew what I was doing and I got a whole bunch of essential oils, particularly jasmine for sure,
sure.
and some patchouli, and just started blending them all together. And some of the Indian incense that was on display got kind of crushed into this tincture. The result would be Salome. It brings me there. It's very new age, very special.
Well, so with that said, I brought two things that reminded me of it when I first got my nose on Salome.
Yeah.
I have two bottles. Some people will know this. Back in the 70s and 80s was an oil company called Spiritual Sky. And they had the best gardenia and the best patchouli. And I have two bottles of it here. And this was from 1979, this patchouli. So it's got this kind of patchouli and this little tiny bit of gardenia that's in here is indicative of all of these very interesting fragrances that Liz Moore is doing for me.
Yeah.
So I have that.
So cool.
Yeah.
That's patchouli. That's pretty great.
I know it's got a little teeny dabber, like just the tiniest little dab will do you.
I remember we were talking about you experimenting, getting different oils and blending them. And when you listen to the episode of this podcast with Sarah Horowitz, a lot of it was familiar to you because you knew these stores, you knew these oils that she was talking about.
Not only did I know them, I've yet to meet you, Sarah. If I ever do, we have so much to talk about.
You have a lot to talk about.
We do. But I was at all of these stores when they first opened.
Yeah.
There was a place here called Homebody, and they had a scent organ. And I was the person, that would come in, spend way too much time. They'd see me coming, be like, oh gosh, here's some Susannah. But at one point I was going like, you don't understand, I'm making fragrances for people. And I started making, oils for everyone I knew. Like I would get, from my sister to Prince, make me a special fragrance.
Yeah.
And so I'd go in there and I would be like, no, you don't understand. I'm making things for people, and I would, imagine what, I just would like their name, my relationship with them. I would find these particular notes that I felt went with these people that I loved, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, consequently, they liked them a lot. I mean, I don't know if anyone kept any of them, but like for a long time, that was something I would do. But Homebody was part of that.
That's
and then when I
incredible.
was in Minneapolis and living there a lot for many years, there was a place called Garden of Eden. And Garden of Eden is where I'd get all of my oils. But I learned later on, because I was going to actually open up my own store.
Selling perfume oils.
Perfume
blending
oils,
things, yeah.
and I was going to name it the Olfactory. It's a totally unoriginal name. Long story short, I ended up at Nectarine in Oakland. And I think it's before Sarah bought the place. But I was like, I found all my oils. I was like, oh, I couldn't believe where I'd walked into this warehouse of the most glorious perfume oils I could ever imagine. And I just got my book of like, okay, I need that, I need that, I need that, I need that. But in particular, I was like, can I smell the hibiscus oil? Can I get, and they walked out with this little bottle of hibiscus oil. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's it. Because I have a bottle of the hibiscus oil here from Garden of Eden, 1982. This is what Prince wore. And I mean, the second...
It brings you right back.
I'm transported. Yeah. I am transported. It's... I mean, of course, I give it to you and you smell it and it's like... It's just.
I remember it's very fruity.
It's incredibly sweet.
Yeah, very sweet and fruity.
Yes.
Oh,
but of course, I smell him.
Bubblegum almost.
Yes, it's almost bubblegum. I smell incredible. him. And he would just, it was all, you could smell it all up in his beautiful nape of his neck and that skin. And, just after a long day of rehearsal and he smelled like that.
God.
There is a extraordinary sexiness to that.
Yeah.
That sweet, but also that skin-like
sure.
quality thing.
So I'm trying to imagine, is this kind of around the time of Purple Rain that he was wearing these fragrances?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and after. But Purple Rain, for sure.
That's wild. Okay. Yeah. So now I want to rewatch the When Doves Cry video where they all have those incredible... outfits, these incredible garments.
It's so funny you should mention that because I was at that set when they were doing that. And Prince came up to me and he said, "What are you wearing? You smell like a Christmas tree." And I was wearing some beautiful pine that I want to say it was from Jean Laporte. And before L'Artisan, it was Jean Laporte. Yeah. And there was a fragrance that had this beautiful pine note. And it smelled like a Christmas tree.
That's incredible.
And so I have the tiniest little bit left. I can't even remember what it is, but it's at my house. But
yeah. That story is insane. And I can't believe that you hold on to all these things. I don't know why I got rid of all of my bottles.
Well, I got rid of, I don't have... I have almost nothing. I'm telling you what I do have.
Right. Well,
all of the things that I wish I had. Yeah. I've made lists of things from when I was I want to say my first Discovery set at 4. I was given it for Christmas, and it had like Maya. Was it Maja? Is it Maja?
Yeah, it was a Spanish soap brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had a Maja, and it had Mistior, and it had some others like little teeny that I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Oh my God, I don't need bikes. I don't need roller skates. I don't need anything.
You have mini perfumes.
Yeah, it started then. But I would write. I wrote everything from. I remembered that I went through this period in the early 90s where I was into Climat.
I don't know that.
It's this aldehydic, beautiful, it was it was beautiful, Climat, and I was like Raffiné. I have to have my bottle of Raffiné. Byzance.
Sure, I remember that one.
Isatis.
Yeah. Oh, gorgeous.
Cocoa.
Yeah.
The original cocoa. Yeah. The original cocoa.
What I'd like to say is all roads lead to Sarah Horowitz. So indeed, from Nectarine and Garden of Eden, all of this, I didn't know that you were a Perfect Veil wearer.
This is one of the first fragrances I bought at Lucky Scent. You guys before you even worked there.
Yeah.
Again, I'm aging myself, but I went in and I bought that.
And did you know about Sarah Horitz's history? You just bought it because you liked the way it smelled. That's incredible.
I loved it. And this particular fragrance is the fragrance I wore through my pregnancies and up until the kids were, I want to say, 2 and 3, because I didn't want to overwhelm the girl's nose with all the fragrances that I love to wear. That was perfect.
Just the prettiest musk with a
little bit of
touch
lemon.
of florals. Oh, and lemon,
It's got that citrus note in it.
That's so pretty.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. And a matter of fact, I got so many compliments wearing that.
I can imagine.
So many, more than pretty much anything.
Really? It's perfect veil. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the people who wear this are very committed to it. So they buy it again and again for many years. It's definitely our top selling.
Yeah, it just has to stay in my collection at all times. I do like a stronger one now, but I will mix that. Yeah. I used to mix Tijota and that together.
Oh, I can see that working perfectly. Yeah.
Give a little bit more of the burnt sugar quality to the perfect veil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanilla and musk are perfect together. What a great combination.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. This surprised me. I mean, I love this scent. This is Delulu from Oddity, but I did not know this was going to be in your Hall of Fame.
Because I don't really go for fruity fragrances. I don't go for fruits. I'm not a mango girl. I'm not a passion fruit.
Not since your hibiscus oil days.
No.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I do love strawberry.
Yeah.
And I clearly love rhubarb.
Rhubarb.
So this is rhubarb and strawberry. There's also sandalwood in the base. Could be Javanol, and there's Ambroxan.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of got suckered into that in a beautiful way. It's fantastic on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh, it's
very juicy and tart.
It's juicy. It's super sparkly. I mean, as a matter of fact, I associate this particular fragrance with dance. So I'm a girl who loves dance music.
Yeah.
And I like everything, most sort of ambient dance, house, techno, like deep house, to really old, like 90s, great dance records, early 70s disco, like underground, phenomenal disco records.
Yeah.
This particular one reminds me of a record I listened to in 1982, came out in 79, but it was a band called Brainstorm, and it's Lovin' is the song. It's one of the great dance songs. If anybody looks it up, it's Lovin' is really my game, and it's such a great disco track, but it's like, it's long, and then there's this, the tail end or midsection where it just breaks down, and it's just basically she's clapping, and there's a bass line, and it's this fragrance. It's just, you're just in this thing where you're dancing, and it's so joyous and sparkly and sexy and fruity, and you're on the dance floor, and it's that.
So, okay, my drive this morning was all about Candy Perfume Girl, but my drive home is going to be that
You
track,
have to listen to it and think of this.
Because that's what I need, because I get stuck on the 5 freeway, and I'm on that thing for an hour, and it doesn't move. I need something joyous and uplifting.
Oh, well, I had this, I have a playlist of things when I was listening to, putting my list together of all these beautiful fragrances. But the theme, too, is lots of dance music.
Yeah. Okay, let's take another dancey perfume here. What would you say is next?
Well, it's not dancey, but it does have a great groove. But the Karine.
Yeah.
So Karine,
we both wear this pretty much every day.
Oh, for me, it's the new fragrance that I will be, the word is overused, but obsessed. I can't not have this in my life.
Yeah.
So the patchouli and the gardenia in that. So it's a traditional sheep, but it's much wetter.
Yeah.
It has a lighter quality to it, but sits with a lot of depth. That patchouli really grounds you. It reminds me of a couple of things, but Beauty and the Beast by David Bowie. When you listen to it first come in, the track itself, when I first listened to the song, I feel that way when I wear this.
Right.
It's super dangerous.
Yeah.
And, it's Bowie. And I know Karine, loves patchouli and
Patchouli
Bowie.
and Bowie.
and that's what I get with that. I get,
Amazing.
that particular.
Yeah. There's just a hint of darkness, which grounds it and makes it kind of mysterious.
It does,
Yeah.
and dangerous in the best sort of arty, weird way.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not, it doesn't lay like a safe, it doesn't keep you safe. It makes you actually step outside yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I adore it. So that particular one, when I found her a couple, month ago, I was, okay, that's forever. But then we got a Damo in, and this is one, and it's an iris. Well, actually, it's a violet, but
Yeah.
it smells like iris.
Yeah.
Ionones.
Ionones, yeah. And the bottle
But it's a
is
green.
beautiful
Oh my
too.
God, the bottle is
Love
just.
this. Yeah.
It's a green iris.
Yes.
It almost feels like there's a vetiver or a galbamin in it. I want to say it's dusty and irisy, but also powdery.
Very.
know?
It gives me that beautiful 80s spice rack situation. There were a lot of these perfumes in the 80s that had
So, here
powder
we
and
go.
spice rack. Yeah.
Chanel number 19. So Chanel number 19 is, for me, I can wear Karine and one together, and I get Chanel number 19.
Okay. This is.
I mean, it's not the same,
This
but
is
it's-
stunning. I need to wear this more.
I wore that this morning.
And the spices are starting to go into a little sparkling cola for me, which I always love in perfume.
So, dance music. The Underworld had a record called Beaucoup Fish.
Okay.
And there's a song called Jumbo. And I get Jumbo out of that
Okay.
when you listen to Jumbo.
We need to put together a playlist.
Yeah, I think so.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's almost nothing in there, but
Oh,
you'll get
smell
what
the
I'm saying.
cap,
It's
yeah.
iris and galbanum.
Oh, that is chic. So this is Chanel number 19.
That's 19.
This is chic.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I hope it still smells like this if I buy it. Because everything's been reformulated,
does.
obviously.
It
sometimes
does.
nicely, beautifully so. Sometimes not.
Poudre smells even more like that, interestingly enough. There's a little bit more iris in it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if the new 19 has as much iris in it
Right.
that this does.
Number
I mean,
19
yeah, but
Poudre.
Poudre does.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's chic. So my eyes keep going to this wooden box. What is going on there?
Okay, so this is my original Ishvaraya
Okay.
by Indult.
Yes, Indult Ishwaraya. Yes.
So there's a tiny bit left. It doesn't smell like this anymore. The newer one does not have this depth of the patchouli.
Yeah.
There's much more patchouli in this one. It's patchouli and plum.
Plum. Yes.
But when I bought Ishvaraya, I also bought Tichota.
Yeah.
And I would wear the two of them together.
I remember
and
back
it came in this
in the
little
day.
box.
Yes. When I first started working at Scent Bar, the whole thing about this brand Indult was when you bought a fragrance from this brand, you had to actually register your name with them.
Right.
Because there were only going to be so many people who bought this fragrance, and then it would be cut off. And unless you were registered with the brand, you couldn't buy it again. Yeah, we
How
actually
come I bought it?
Well, I guess I don't know if you remember, but we probably took down your name when you bought it.
Maybe we did. Maybe we did.
So you were then. I think what happened was maybe the brand disappeared because I know that it was a big brand for that store in Paris called Colette, and I think it was only Colette and Lucky Scent in the States. Those are the only two retailers that sold this brand Indult. And then I think maybe the brand went under, maybe, but Colette definitely closed. And then I think the brand came back, and then they did away with this whole like exclusive list thing, like limited clients who can buy this stuff. So now everyone can buy Tehota, which is wonderful. Everyone should buy Tehota, and Isfaraya's back. But I remember back then it did come in that wooden box. That's right.
So Ishvaraya does not smell like this deep patchouli plum.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. But I would, I would layer it with the Tijota.
Yeah.
I spent the better part of the 90s wearing that.
Oh, that's incredible.
I've actually even worn it with Perfect Veil.
What is Soraya with Perfect Veil? I can see that. I mean, I think Perfect Veil you can wear with anything.
You can.
Definitely. A perfect layering scent. Wow.
Yeah, but I actually wore this on stage a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that this was a perfect stage scent for me when I was performing. Yeah.
What is it about that scent that
I
you
think
thought?
I just gravitate towards the patchouli and fruits.
Right.
You know, I have a thing. It's like a theme,
Goes
I
back
guess.
to Molinard de Molinard. Yeah.
Yes.
Patchouli and fruits.
I also love Narcissus. So interestingly enough, there's a
Yeah.
couple of scents we didn't bring here that I'm completely mad for. Angelo's Creations, that particular house,
Yeah.
they're both of their scents. They have a vetiver, and then they have this Narcissus, has the narcissus in them, both of them.
wow.
And they're really old school fragrances like the Papillon.
Yeah.
And they feel incredibly
Yeah.
important on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love these old school chypres, and they're so structured. You know what I mean?
They
And
are.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ethereal, wispy scents too. Like there's a time and place for everything. But what I love about something like Salome or Karine is it's so structured. It's like a garment that has darts and buttons and everything in a certain way for the construction of the piece, you know, so that it sits on the body in a very particular way. You know, it's not a loosey-goosey.
But this reminds me not just of sort of like wearing the perfect outfit, but it's having a real sort of like sense of how you feel. Like
Yeah.
there's no ambiguity in it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I have a specific way in which I feel right now.
Yes.
And that represents this emotional sort of like thing or this emotionality that
Yeah,
I'm in. Like,
definitely.
whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
That makes sense to me.
It made no sense, but if it did, I'm so thrilled.
I had no idea you were going to include something from Dessert, which is a really fantastic brand, but I just didn't know that you wore this scent.
Not only do I wear it, it's probably number 3 most important fragrances I own.
Really? So this is Kagiroy.
Kagiroy.
Yeah.
It has got a patchouli in the base, but it's uzu and
Yeah.
hinoki. There's pine. There's just this earth quality. But this one, it's fleeting. It's very ephemeral.
Yeah.
But I wear it, you know, without sounding too contrived. I wear it when I meditate.
Yeah, of course.
Twice a day.
Yeah.
I spray that all around me, and there was a place I used to go hiking by myself as a kid, and up until like 30s in New England, called Diana's Baths. And you would walk through, these paths, the forest, lots of pine needles on the ground, granite rocks with moss. You could hear in the distance the sort of raging river coming through, and you're sort of walking your way to the river. And then you'd find yourself in these beautiful granite rock structures that would have this like small waterfalls, then a larger one, and then a larger one, and then a pool of water.
Yeah.
And I would go and find my way up there and sit, particularly in summer times, on these big hot granite rocks.
Yeah.
I'd, bring a lunch, usually in your leather bag. And then, through the rocks, these rocks, there was all that moss and then that water rushing through. That's where I go. The second I smell the river water, I smell the earth. I smell
describe
the
the scent
hot
perfectly.
granite rock. It's the most meditative, beautiful fragrance. But you have to give it, like, it's not the first spray, you're like, this was like crushed everything.
Yeah. And
But it's not.
Yeah, the first second, citrus will just take over, but then you have to let it settle. But what you're describing is the sun. It's sunlight on a large rock surrounded by water. Absolutely.
You get that
Beautiful.
sort of the glint of the wind.
Yeah.
And, the sparkles of the leaves, but you see, it was such a grounding moment for me, and I can go to that place instantaneously with that fragrance.
Yeah, definitely.
So I absolutely adore it. And I love the whole line. Dessert is a romantic line.
Yeah, I agree.
Very
and
romantic.
Very controlled. And this is something that I noticed with the Papillon fragrance that you selected, Salome. It, to me, smells like if you really knew what you were doing and had wonderful materials, like perfectly made essential oils,
Yeah.
you might get something like that.
Yeah.
I feel that this also smells like it's made of all natural materials.
All natural materials.
Yeah, but it has a lot of complexity that is not the easiest thing to achieve using only all natural materials. But this brand does it. It's incredibly controlled and structured, but it
Yes.
has such an effortless feel when you wear it.
It does. Most of the line does. They have one called Mizu, which has got this mint and uzu, and it's just, that one does it for me too, and
Yeah.
I'll wear that one. But this one actually is transportive
Love that.
because it just, there's a few fragrances that are in our store, there's like 4 that literally take me somewhere
Yeah.
else. You know, there's so many fragrances on the market.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are ephemeral. A lot of them are gauzy, and they're easy to wear. But I'm at that point in my life where I want something that demands something more of me
Yeah.
when I'm wearing it.
Yeah. Perfume is so great.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to smell and different reasons to wear them.
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of people who aren't hugely into perfume would just think, I'll wear something to make myself smell a little bit nicer when I go out to a party.
For the
or
most
to a
part, that's
club
what
or
it
something.
is, yeah.
And that's great. And I
Yeah.
have fragrances for that.
Yeah.
But this is a meditation scent. You're not going to put this on and then go to the club. No one's going to smell it.
No,
You know?
no one's going to smell it. You're not going to smell it. And it's
No.
going to defeat the entire purpose of what
No.
that is and smelling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it can bring you to this place mentally, and especially while you're meditating, that's an amazing thing for a perfume to be able to do.
I've had mornings where I've started the morning and been like, oh, I've got to get in that car and drive an hour, and I just take a minute and I do that, and I'm okay for a minute.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I'm like, you have that thing. You know,
Yeah.
like I mean, I know there's aroma chemicals, there's all these things that you can know about fragrance, but fragrance is also, in addition to knowing everything about a fragrance and how things are structured, and, you know, if you're using a certain note that will do this to this note, and then you'll get something completely different. We can talk about that. There's plenty of us that do.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said about, you know, getting a kid who comes in and says, you know, I'm going to college, and he's incredibly shy. And he's like a 19-year-old kid. He's, you know, you can see he's just budding out of that sort of awkward stage. And his mom's brought him in. He's like, you know, he kind of knows, but he's not, I don't know. And I have said, how do you want to feel? And the guy looks at me like, what do you mean, how do I want to feel? And I like, do you want to feel sexy? Do you want to feel strong? Do you want to feel smart? Do you want to feel, you know, like you want to feel able-bodied? Like, how do you, and he's like, and then I get sexy. And I know, I'm like, I got you. I know exactly, you know, and I bring out Wonderwood from, you know, Comme des
That's a
Garçons.
great pick.
And
yeah.
the boys are like, oh, yeah, that's exactly. And I'm like, see, but that's important. You know, you know, like, how do you want to feel?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's try and get you there. And some of us are connected to fragrances in that way.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so we can be
Yeah.
like, okay, I think I got you.
Okay, speaking of the feels, why did you select Mortel Noir from Trudon, which is also one of my favorites? I have a bottle of this one.
Because I love incense.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm a huge incense fan. This one has a little bit more frankincense
Yeah.
than the other incenses we have.
Yeah.
And it lasts a really long time. And
Yeah.
again, it's another meditative one for me. But I can wear that day and night, and I won't lose it. It stays on me. It's very similar to Avignon from Comme des Garçons, but Comme des Garçons, that Avignon doesn't last on me. This one does.
It's very long lasting.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of cistus labdanum in
Yes.
this that's really going to give it some
I think that's exactly what it is, frankincense
strength.
and
Yeah,
cistus labdanum.
definitely.
Yeah.
And black pepper as
Yes.
well. Yeah. I love this one too. I can't wear this in heat though. I can't wear it in the summertime.
Right.
Really only
Neither can
autumn
I.
and winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neither can I. Although I can wear it at night if it's very late at night,
Yeah.
but not height of day.
This is a nighttime scent.
That's a nighttime scent.
For me as well. I love this.
But I've actually put it in my hair, and there's something during the day, if it's just in your hair and you sort of like
I can
walk
see
around and
that,
just gets a
yeah.
little bit of it, you smell and you're like, oh, that's kind of fab.
A little holy hair situation.
Holy hair!
Oh my goodness. When you were talking about meditating and wearing Kagivoy from Dessert, I can picture this perfectly because, we live in Southern California and there's a certain quality in the light as the sun is rising. And I happen to know this very well because my dogs wake me up before the sun rises. So I see the sunrise pretty much every morning. But at that time, when it's really quiet and the sun is just starting to come up, I don't really want any scent. And if I were to put something on, it would be something like Kagivoy.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
There's sunlight in this.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
They've actually said I think it's something, it might as well be, say, sunlight, but dawn, like the dawn morning or something like that. So it's to evoke that moment in the morning, that stillness, or any time, but there's a stillness and a clarity, but your nervous system is sort of at zero. It's like, you're not below or you're not above it. You're just...
That's it.
In even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I get to the park to walk the dogs, there are a lot of eucalyptus trees. And usually most mornings there's some dew because there's that marine layer that covers most of the LA basin. So the dew on the eucalyptus is very fragrant in the park. And it's a beautiful smell. Plus, they're always mowing the lawns and you get the cut grass smells and all that. And the sunlight just coming through the trees at that time, this fragrance is of that world. It's depicting that.
It really is. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this particular fragrance. It just, actually, it's heartbreakingly beautiful for me.
I love it. What is next on your list?
To buy?
Yeah.
Convoité?
La Convoité from Cartier.
Yeah. Another iris, but a carnation. It is so beautiful. Steve, it's so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also
that's
like...
on my list too.
But it's also, I like the other one.
L'air perdu from Cartier. Yeah.
It's the two of them. I love those two. And then I'm sort of on the hunt for collecting all of these older fragrances that I've loved my whole life and just sort of having them again. I don't know why I want them.
Like which ones?
Well, I'd actually like to have a real bottle of opium.
Oh, you know what? So would I.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like an old bottle. I mean, I look at my, I had the one that was shaped, sort of like this rectangle and it had a little tassel on it.
Yeah, with the little circle of glass. Yeah. Window peeking through. I love that. My mom had that bottle. Beautiful.
You know what else I want to get, and which I went through and I loved so much, was the original Dolly.
Oh, I've not smelled that.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's really fruity, and
I've seen pictures of the bottle because it's incredible.
It's the lips.
Yeah.
And you know that my mother had a tattoo of lips on her arm. And so I've been obsessed. I used to draw pictures of women's faces as a kid. And I was always very much into like the mouth, right? To this day, I still have to have like my lipsticks perfect.
Yeah.
It may not look like that now, but it actually quite is. I mean, it is. But lips. So, when I found the Dolly, and then with the perfect lucite nose, and then that crystal mouth, and the fragrance, that's another one that Prince and I spent time in Paris during the Under the Cherry Moon filming, and we were wearing a lot of that.
Of Dolly. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to get an original bottle of
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They've got to be out there.
They are on eBay.
Yeah.
Also, I need to find another bottle of Après L'Onde. By Guerlain. By the way, my father's fragrance, he was also into...
totally neglected him.
My dad wore fragrances and loved them, and it was Imperial by Guerlain.
Oh, that's one of the colognes.
And he wore it forever and ever and ever and ever.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I think that's what he wore forever.
One of the first ever fancy fragrances that I bought for myself. Because, you know, I grew up wearing the Obsession for Men and Drakkar, all that stuff. When I finished college, I remember my first trip to Paris. It was a year after I finished college. And it's the first time I ever went to Europe. And I was the biggest Francophile. Like, I was obsessed with French films and everything. I studied French in college, all that. But my first time ever in France. And I went to the Guerlain on the Champs-Élysées.
Oh, yeah.
And what I bought was Eau du Coq, one of the colognes.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was in a splash. And it had the beautiful crystal bottle with the bees and all. It just so amazing.
That's what the Imperial was like. Yes,
so
and it had the
cool.
little dabber with the round.
Yeah,
crystal
me too,
top.
Me too.
Yes.
And I mean, it's an eau de cologne, so you had to kind of splash it on. Like, you had to put a lot
Oh,
of
that was
stuff
my
on.
dad. He was like, "You do that."
What a gentleman. That's incredible. That's so cool. Did he have another fragrance to wear at night? Because that is very...
No, he wore that religiously
all the time.
Now, here's the thing about my dad, my jazz musician dad, pure bebop player. During that time, he was also, you know, in session player in Los Angeles and New York for forever. He was part of the Wrecking Crew. It was like
Crew,
a big
right.
deal.
Yeah.
But my dad smoked a lot of weed.
Okay.
So I was like, what's the point? He was weed all day long. It's like wake and bake. And then he was like cognac at night and cognac at the gigs. But he was religious with his Imperial.
Wow. Yeah.
So, you know, first thing in the morning when you'd go and hug Pop, it was Imperial.
That's, I mean, what a great association.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so super cool. Oh my goodness.
But I've had fragrances around me my whole life. I loved it. One of, you know, I'm not married anymore, but my husband at the time, probably one of the reasons why I fell in love with him is because I fell in love with him wearing Fahrenheit.
Oh my God.
I was like, it's the scent, it's not you.
It is the scent because no offense to your ex-husband.
No offense. I loved you. I love you.
But Fahrenheit makes me fall in love every time I wear that stuff.
I was almost going to say, Steve, please bring Fahrenheit. I love it so much.
It's like physical.
It's
when I
physical.
Smell it, I'm like, why do I love this smell so much?
It's physical. And when I smell it, I'm like, I'm in love with anything and anyone who's wearing it. Like in that moment, you're like, it has violet in it.
Yes, a lot of violet. So,
which I love. I mean, the ionones again. There we go.
Man,
it's just
so
that
special. And I treated myself to the shower gel of Fahrenheit. I bought it online, and I bring it to when I go swimming. I just swim at the public pool, and I use it.
That's fantastic.
Because I need something really
Who's the
strong.
guy in the bathroom that smells so fabulous? I love that.
Usually, by the time I get to the elevator, when I'm finished the swim, because I'm so hot from having all that exercise and just showered.
Oh, it's even better.
I feel
even
that
better.
I'm projecting chlorine and Fahrenheit.
Stinky body Fahrenheit. Oh, can't be better. Oh, seriously.
Oh, man.
Love. Yeah. Absolutely love.
To all the people in the elevator with me, you're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Oh, my God, Susannah. We could go on for hours, and we do.
We do.
I mean,
and
you and I spent a lot of time talking. I'm glad we at least got this down.
We are
on the record.
Katya and Trixie Mattel of Perfume. That we will talk forever. Now, here's the thing. We will talk forever. And there's so many things because we have so much in common because we
really do.
We're musicians, songwriters, and we walk about the planet with wonder and just like you even way more than me. You see the world in all of its beauty. You are such a generous of spirit, lovely person. I'm not as lovely, but I definitely have.
Well, you know, I call you my mama bear because you see it how it is, which is so incredible.
I'm a bit pragmatic. There's no doubt about that. I'm pragmatic, and I
appreciate
have no time
and
to
love
be
that
effing around.
Yeah. I have no time to be effing around.
No, none at all. Sorry.
Susannah, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Steve, my more than pleasure.
I have a feeling as soon as we hit stop on all the devices recording us, we're just going to keep talking because that's what we do.
We can. Where's the coffee and our snacks?
But for everyone tuning in, thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.